Hey, everyone. Welcome to a what we call a deep dive podcast with JB and Sandy, where we can take a little more time, talk a little bit more about a broader subject, a broader field of things. We recently had Suzanne Stone on the radio show with us. She's the president and CEO of Livestrong, and she agreed to stick around and talk to us a little bit more. Most people, once they get done with us, Suzanne, they're like, yeah, I'm getting away from those two characters. But
I'm out.
You're very brave to come in and visit with us. So we're going to touch on a lot of stuff, but let's start out with what we have coming up in October. Which is a huge event that's been kind of a signature event of Austin, and it's coming up in October. And I'm always afraid I'm going to say the wrong name, even though it's right in front of me. Tell me the official name of the event.
You bet. Official name of the event in October is Run for the Roses. Mm-hmm. And there's a story behind the roses. The reason why it's Run for the Roses, it's a 5K, 10K. Everybody in Austin can join. You can come from anywhere and come and join, run, walk, anything that you want to do. You can get on perhaps a golf cart, maybe even a scooter. We'll see.
There's enough scooters in this town for it.
There's no kidding. No kidding. I can be talked into it. But we've been doing events in Austin for 30 years, which is pretty incredible. So 2027 is 30 years.
I did the very first Ride for the Roses.
Yeah.
The very, very first one.
I remember it. I didn't do it, but I remember.
You're old.
The Wallflowers.
That's right. The Wallflowers. Michael Ward did the national anthem.
Yeah. He is unfortunately since passed. But we had a brand new radio show back then. And we were like, well, what can we do to help? Like, we just, this new foundation. And I had just started riding a bike. So we go back to the very, very beginning. I don't know how many times you and I introduced something at one of the Livestrong galas over the years.
Many times.
A rich history, including Robin Williams taking over the stage when we were getting into some auction stuff. And we were like, we'll just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Is what we'll do.
And then afterwards, it's so funny, Suzanne, afterwards, everyone's milling around. And Robin Williams comes up to me and just gives me a big hug. He goes, man, I'm sorry. Did I ruin your set? And I'm like, dude, I didn't have a set. And you're Robin Williams. So no worries.
You can
so we have a lot of roots with Livestrong. We really do. And a lot of roots in Austin too. And I'm curious about Livestrong. Let's talk about it. I mean, you had to separate from the founder in 2012. How bruised was the brand? And from that moment in 2012, how have you and your team worked to repair the brand?
It's a challenge. Anytime a social impact organization, a nonprofit organization, or even a for-profit starts with a founder who has celebrity status, because then the brand really leans on that heavily, right, for its success or its failure. From the moment, though, the foundation started, it was never about a bike race. And it was never about, who was going to win the Tour de France that year. It was about how to improve people's lives who are affected by cancer. And that has never changed. So we were doing that work before 2012, and we've been doing that work since 2012. From a brand perspective, it was really hard. I wasn't in the room for that. I joined Livestrong in 2019. And we can all armchair quarterback what could have happened or, how could we have done things differently? But what I'm most proud of is that the work has never stopped. We may have been quieter about the work because there was a lot to deal with, as you might imagine, over that short period of time. We have continued to evolve because we have to. We've continued to evolve and work because cancer patients and everyone affected by this disease deserves to have the resources they need when they need them and the kind of resources that they can trust. So for us as a brand, it was challenging for sure. We had a lot of corporate entities leave, a lot of people who had become a deep part of the Livestrong family disassociated themselves from the brand, which is unfortunate because the brand was never about the person who started the organization. It was about cancer, and it's about having a high quality of life. So what I can tell you is, regardless of the year that anybody worked there or interacted with Livestrong, their work was important, continued to be impactful. 100 million people have been impacted by the work that we've done and that we continue to do today. And in 2027, we are 30 years old. We have never stopped. And I would say that now, more than ever, It's incredibly important that we're here with almost 2 million people being diagnosed every year. We've got over 20 million people living in the US with cancer, and information overload. You don't know where you can turn to trust. And Livestrong has been there and will continue to be there.
I know you weren't there in 2012 with the separation of Lance and Livestrong, but do you know, were there conversations had amongst consultants, Madison Avenue people, anybody that said, you know what, let's keep doing the work, but we got to rebrand this thing. We got to call it something else.
Oh yeah.
And how did that go? And I'd love to know how that process happened, that someone said, no, we're keeping Livestrong.
Yeah. There were a lot of conversations. I've read them. I wasn't a part of those conversations, but I've read them, heard about them anecdotally, of course. And the decision was always made that when you have a brand like Livestrong, those two words connected mean something. They mean something to the point where now anytime that there's an event that happens, tragic,
something
strong.
It's like Palooza.
Correct. Right? It's all something Palooza. Exactly.
Right. It's become its own thing.
Yeah. When we talk to Madison Avenue and, whether they were big PR firms, small marketing agencies, it didn't matter, across the board, looking at market research, yellow, and that name Livestrong, synonymous, and everybody recognizes it. You have a feeling about it. That's something that I can work with. We can work with a feeling, but to get brand recognition back, to fully change your name would, I believe, would have hurt the organization far more than facing a challenging past.
Right. The obstacles in front of you were much smaller than what would appear to be a startup.
It would, and nobody would have recognized any sort of longevity or authority or level of expertise
or accomplishment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Livestrong, well before I joined, changed the way the entire world deals with cancer. We ran anti-stigma campaigns all across the world. I'm
sorry, is there a cancer stigma?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There are absolutely cultures in our world that when you have this disease, no one will come near you.
Like leprosy almost.
Like leprosy almost. Correct.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So if you remember way back in the day, cancer was something that people got and then they went back into that bedroom and slowly, it was something that we whispered at cocktail parties. It wasn't something we posted about on social media.
And in a Livestrong world, they're out there mid-chemo, lost their hair, marching.
Yeah.
Just get community.
Yeah. And that used to be something that
you would hide.
You would hide.
Huh.
Livestrong and the organization back then and still today gave people a voice for the very first time to be able to say, hey, I'm not by myself here. And we've got you. No one is going to face this disease alone. And we're here for your journey, no matter how long that journey might be. And we're going to do everything we can to make your quality of life as high as possible.
One of the aspects about Livestrong that I love, so there's the wealth of information. You have a diagnosis. What do I do? Your doctor may hand you a pamphlet, but then you go to Livestrong and you've got all the resources in the world. A library custom built for your situation. The other thing I love about it is when friends and family of someone dealing with cancer, or unfortunately, maybe they lost them because of cancer, are looking for somewhere to put their time and energy to honor them. And you quite often see someone passes, they start a foundation, they do a few events, and in a few years it fizzles, right? It's not sustainable. Because nonprofits are really hard. I don't know if you know this, Suzanne.
I have an inkling.
But it gives you somewhere, let's channel our energy. And within Livestrong, you can do your own event under the Livestrong umbrella.
Correct.
Like we did a big fundraiser at my house with live music years and years ago. We were like, let's put it all under the Livestrong umbrella. And that's where people donate. You handle all of that. You facilitate everything for them. It's just a good place where people can put their energy.
Absolutely. People heal through action. And just like you mentioned, and I talk about this a lot, whether it's Livestrong or any other thing, right? If you had a dog who got out of the fence and got lost for 3 weeks, you may say, hey, I want to come up with a collar or a chip or something. I want to solve the problem. I need to feel better. When you lose somebody or you have a traumatic event, you want to do, most people, a lot of people will choose action as a way to heal. And so they start foundations or they start events to raise money. And it's often called the Jane Smith Foundation or the, whatever. And while that is absolutely admirable, and I completely understand the need and desire to do that, what we can do and what you can do through Livestrong, if you've experienced that loss or you've experienced some sort of traumatic events that's associated with cancer, you don't have to go through all of that work. Come and join the family, right? We have a family here and we call it the Livestrong family because that's what it is. We have this really close group of people called the Livestrong leaders, and we talk every single month. And people show up on this Zoom call, dozens of them, not to hear anything groundbreaking from me, but they do it to connect with one another. It's why people come to the challenge. It's why people come to Run for the Roses. It's not about the distance you're running or the miles that you're cycling. It's about the family and the community that you're building.
It's about what you put on Strava. Let's be honest.
How many badges do you have?
It is. I was always amazed at the Livestrong event. This is more the cycling event. This is the run in October. Is my cycling team would always volunteer. There was always a VIP ride the day before, and those were for the biggest fundraisers. These are people raising 20,000 plus, hundreds of thousands for personal reasons, their personal connection. And what was amazing about it is they weren't cyclists. It had nothing to do with the bike. And that's why our team would show there. We'd have to push some of them just to the finish of a 8-mile ride. They were there for the cancer and for their loved ones. It wasn't about a bike ride at all. No. That was one of my favorite things every year was volunteering from that, because you'd hear their story and it's like, don't worry. And people don't know this. Like, it's very easy to ride up on someone and just rest your hand on their back. I can push them for miles. And we would do that every year. It was one of my favorite things. Some incredible people. And what I also learned is that the impact that such a small percentage of Livestrong fundraisers have on the company as a whole.
Yeah.
Now, it's great. You can just sign up, make a donation, come do the walk. But the extra fundraising by a small percentage of people is remarkable.
It's truly remarkable. And one of the things that we're really proud of is, when you think about nonprofit and you go to work, you get your paycheck, and at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, you decide, I'm going to take 5 of my hard-earned dollars and I'm going to gift them to somebody. You are entrusting, when you choose Livestrong or any other social impact org, you are entrusting us with money that you earned. You worked hard for that, whether that's $5 or $50,000, whatever that is. And we don't take that lightly. In fact, most of the mission, the funds that we use to fuel our mission come from individuals, one person at a time. There's not a big pharma check sitting there someplace. There's not a big corporate entity that's funding this work. This is every single person in your neighborhood. These are people across the country who have been impacted and say, we need to do more for the people who need help, and we can help. It's about putting the hand on somebody's back and pushing them to the finish line. And that's effectively what your fundraising is doing. You're putting your hand on somebody's back and saying, I got you.
You guys have also very heavily leaned in on, let's admit, the world has changed on how things are done just in since yesterday, actually. And you guys have really leaned in and made capital investments into technology to better serve the Livestrong community. Can you tell us about some of the things that you have done to make it more accessible, I guess, for people?
Absolutely. So I'll tell a story on myself. So I was really excited to update the guidebook. So the guidebook is a physical printed entity thing that we've been producing for over 25 years. And it is that physical book where you can find every piece of information you could possibly need about your journey from just diagnosed to either end of life or, far on into survivorship.
Mhm.
So I updated it. We had experts in the field. We added QR codes. Wow, I was super proud of QR codes. I also thought they went away for a while. And
They
now
were
did.
dead, dude.
Right, didn't
They were
they? I
dead.
thought they were
COVID
dead.
brought them back.
What
Wait, did you just
happened?
call her dude?
Yeah.
Dude.
She called me bro earlier, so it's all good. I thought that's the terms we're on now. Yeah.
So
Yes, they are back.
we're back. So they're back. So I was super proud of this book a few years ago, right? And it was we got boxes of them delivered to the office, and I pulled out the book, and I happened to be texting with my son who's in his mid-20s, and I was like, "Hey, I'm so excited." He's like, "How's your day?" And being a great son, checking on his mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, no, oh, so good. We just got the new guidebook. I'm really excited about it." And he was like, "Is it a book?"
Mm,
And I was like, "Well, yeah, it's a book.
mm.
Picked up the phone, and I was like, "What do you mean? Is it a book?" And I was like, "You would read the book, right?" And he was like, "Is it like a physical book?" Probably not. Like, probably not. And in that moment, what I realized is I produce content for myself and my parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did not produce content for a 20-anything-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And who are we focused on? We know that the cancer incidence rates are going up in our adolescents and young adult community.
Mm-hmm.
And we could spend an entire podcast talking about why that is. But regardless of that, I didn't build a resource for half of the population.
And it took your son to point it out.
Well, so I was like, okay, well, we got to fix that. So that began the search for what are we going to build? I have to do something. How do I reach people who are 20 anything or 30 anything? And at the time, which wasn't that long ago, about a year and a half ago now, maybe 2 years ago, and AI was just truly picking up steam, and Chat GPT had just come out, and I was asking Chat what to do. And I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build an AI-powered cancer survivorship companion that knows the guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going to Chat or to Claude or wherever your Perplexity, wherever you're headed, you're going to go to Ellis. So we named it LS, Livestrong, and then we just said it out loud. Ellis, our tech guy, longest employee, Willie, came up with that name, so I cannot own that. But Ellis was born out of the recognition that we have to be ahead. We cannot be behind. We have to be where people who are 26 years old are looking for information. We're still going to always produce that physical guidebook because us Gen Xers
Yeah.
may want that book, right? Boomers want that book. But we have to be where people are today, and we have to already be there. So we have built Ellis. We're investing again into it. We're on our third build version of it now, and I'm
this,
really
I
proud
think it's
of it.
important. This is a closed loop AI.
Correct.
This
I
is-
think that's the most important piece, because what we heard, and I try very hard to listen as much as we possibly can. Can we listen? Can we listen? What does this community need? And they need trust.
Mm.
How do I build trust in an AI platform?
Something searchable that, because I question every bit of information I get online now.
As you should.
It happened earlier this morning. Is that real? No, that's not real.
Yeah.
We're all dealing with that, right?
Mhm.
I mean, my gosh, I can't imagine what it's like for a doctor when people read WebMD and come in, because you're just reading information online that's random. So this is all your data and information and guidebook over the years that's all been Livestrong vetted in
Right.
one place. And that's what you're searching.
Correct. That is what you're searching. You are not searching WebMD or any other thing. It is not going to go anywhere else except for into the resource databases that we've provided it. So I get to teach it new stuff every day if I want to. This is vetted, science-based, fact-based information, peer-reviewed. You don't have to agree with it,
Mhm.
but we're going to show you where it came from. You can ask Ellis where that source came from. You can ask it what Journal of the American Medical Association article that came from. You can ask it, more information about that topic, and it will send you outside. Now, all the marketing people were like, no, absolutely not. You cannot have Ellis send them out. We want to keep you here at Livestrong. trust is more important. I want to send you to the best resource. And that includes other nonprofit partners all around the country, whether it's Immerman Angels or here locally, Wonders and Worries.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who that partner is that can deliver the service or the resource that you need, we're going to send you there. And when you get the help you need, you're going to come back.
Mm-hmm. And it's both online and an app, right?
Correct. It's online and an app. And depending on when you're listening to this podcast,
right.
By the end of October, it will be seamless on both sides. So when you jump onto the app, either on the desktop or on your phone, it will recognize you. And Ellis will say, "Hey, Sandy, it's great to see you again. How's it going?"
That's better than most humans would say. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
I have never had thankfully, the need for Livestrong. Thank God. But I'm curious. Let's just say I get a diagnosis. I just come home from the doctor. I call Livestrong. "Hi, this is Sandy. I just got a cancer diagnosis." What happens next?
So what happens next is we're going to ask you some more questions.
Sure.
Please hold, sir.
Please hold. Please hold. And music. We're going to ask you some questions. We want to know obviously we know what's keeping you up at night,
Mm-hmm.
but every single person's experience with cancer, it's like the first time that cancer has ever happened. Right?
Sure.
Right?
That makes sense.
So you can, and you see this in social media when people post, they're like, there are no resources out there. Like, yes, there are. You just haven't had to ever look for them before. So you don't know where to go. And it's likely that by the time when you decide to come to us, when you decide to live strong, I'm going to turn this into a verb here.
Mm-hmm.
When you decide to live strong, you've probably Googled, how long do I have to live? You've probably Googled, am I going to lose my hair? What does radiation mean? You will have already Googled, and you're probably freaked out. We're going to ask you some questions about which pieces of your life do you want help with right now? Because what we're not going to do is tell you what treatment you should have. We're not going to, but we will tell you how to ask your doctor for a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to ask you, do you have a fear about your job? Are you the primary breadwinner? Does this mean you're going to have to, let's talk about that. What does that mean from a finance standpoint for you?
Or family planning as a survivor.
Planning.
This is a big one. That was a big one with Livestrong.
And it's still a big one. It's one of the largest programs that we have.
Yeah.
So before you start treatment, let's take that young person. If you are of childbearing age and you get a cancer diagnosis, you have a finite amount of time to decide whether or not you want to preserve your fertility. Not every single cancer treatment affects your ability to have children in the future, but many of them do.
This was not a thing 25 years ago.
No, it was not.
People weren't talking about that.
No, not at all. And in fact, Livestrong heard what the work of an organization here in Austin was doing called Fertile Hope, and recognized immediately that the cost of fertility preservation and the emotional cost of fertility preservation at this point in time for a cancer patient's life is extraordinarily stressful, and we needed to do something about it. So we acquired Fertile Hope, and we've grown this program. So we have over 150 clinics all around the United States who've raised their hand and said, we're going to discount our services by at least 25% or more. And our partnership with EMD Serono will provide free stimulation medication for anybody who is coming through our program. So when we think about what that means, the average cost for a woman to preserve her fertility in the United States is
not cheap.
$14,000.
Yeah. Freezing your eggs, right?
Correct. Freezing your eggs. And
Wow.
in more than half the states, there are only 22 states that mandate that private insurance cover that. That means that $14,000 price tag, you're coming up with that cash all on your own, right? And if you're on Medicaid, no state covers it. So you've just been diagnosed, and your oncologist, one question that we're going to tell you to ask if you're 30 years old is, will this treatment affect my fertility, my ability to have a family in the future? And if the answer is yes, you get to decide whether or not you want to go in more debt to have the hope of a future child, or if you're just going to say, I guess having children isn't in our future. And that's an extraordinarily challenging diagnosis and decision that you have to make. So we being able to reduce that cost significantly, and those free medications, those medications would be $4,500 a round. without that support from END Serrano. So
Wow.
it's an extraordinarily challenging time. We also do post-treatment. So you come out of treatment and you're ready to have that kiddo and you preserved, whether it was with us or without, we're going to help you there too. So we've got all these clinics who've, like I said, raised their hand and said, hey, we're going to help. We're going to reduce our cost for some of our patients in our community.
It seems it's interesting. It's funny. It seems like you have thought of everything, but I bet a day doesn't go by that something comes up that goes, we haven't thought of that yet.
Yeah.
It probably happens.
We may have thought about it, but we haven't solved it just yet. So there's like one big one that I am passionate about solving, and that's transportation. So many people live in rural communities and urban ones, but because cancer is so financially disruptive and can be very financially devastating, especially if you lose your job because of it, and many, many people do, they go into, they file for bankruptcy, they're choosing between medication and food. They do not go to their appointments because they cannot get there. Oh. So remember, if you're in chemo, and the assumption is that everybody has a family and a group of friends, and that's just not the case, right? It's not the case. And maybe they can't drive. Maybe they are no longer physically able to do that. How are they going to get there?
How sick are they going to feel going home, right? After some treatment.
Can they really do that? And is public transportation the right option? No. Do you want to get on a bus after you've just done infusion for 3 hours? Probably not. So there is a transportation barriers are something that I'm very interested in working at Lyft and Uber, if you happen to be listening.
Lyft and Uber, if you're out there.
If you're out there,
holler at us.
Holler at me.
Right.
Robo-taxis right here.
See, Waze, you don't have to tip the robo drivers. Any case, there's so transportation is one of those things. Nutrition is another one.
Nutrition. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. When you are trying to recover or just working through chemo or radiation and any sort of immunotherapy treatment, your taste buds change. And your body's ability to consume those nutrients also changes. Everything about what you knew before that worked for your body does not necessarily work now. And so you have to change how you eat and what you eat. And often the things that you loved the most, you can't stand now. Your taste buds change. The texture bothers you. Depending on where that radiation might be, your throat and your ability to swallow might be compromised. You see a lot of cancer patients lose a significant amount of weight, not only because the cancer is attacking their body, but because they just aren't hungry and they don't want to eat. And so there's a big nutrition gap here where we really need to do a better job of helping people who are affected by cancer and going through treatment and their loved ones figure out what they should and shouldn't be eating, because everybody starts a meal train, right? And what I say is that's great for the loved ones that are in the house, but the cancer patient probably doesn't want to eat your lasagna, right? So thinking about other ways to support that person and thinking about nutritionally, what do they need? What is best for them as they work to regain their strength or just to maintain their strength as they're going through treatment. So that's another piece that we really want to explore. And then exercise oncology. That one, I think we've got tackled, but man, we're growing it. We're investing. We're really expanding our offerings for exercise, because getting your strength back is paramount to recovery.
Yeah. If you can't, you got, that's something. If you don't have that, you can really get anything, right? You're not going to be able to walk to get the food that you want to get, get to the appointments.
You can't,
or get back to work, back to your family, everything.
Just being able to walk your child down the aisle, right? To play with your grandkids,
right? To
walk your dog. It's just sometimes the very basic things, you lose that ability, and people really take some of those basic movements for granted. So we've created Cancer Fit. Cancer Fit is a program that does two things. One, we train personal trainers. So if you happen to be listening, you're a personal trainer and you want to build your client base, let me help you. We've got hundreds of thousands of cancer patients right here in the Austin community. And of course, 22 million around the country that need to regain their strength. And when you are recovering from cancer, there's a different way to do that. Your body isn't the same, like we just talked about, right? So maybe if you are a breast cancer survivor and you've had a double mastectomy, you can't raise your hands above your head just yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We can teach that personal trainer how to do that and how to work with you. And the second piece of that is we have over a 250 workout video library you can access for free.
My wife uses your Livestrong fitness challenges and stuff. She does them,
Fabulous.
not all of them, but she's done a lot of them.
Fabulous. And we want caregivers to do it too, right? When people say, well, I don't know how to support my friend or my loved one with cancer, I say, hey, meal trains are great. But what would be better is if you said, hey, I'm showing up and we're going to go for a walk. Hey, can I take your dog? Can I go cheer with you? Can I go cheer your kid's baseball game on tomorrow? You know, there are other ways, and physical activity is one of those ways.
Austin's got to have the highest rate per capita of personal trainers of any city in America. It's got to be.
Gotta be.
They can reach out to Livestrong if they want to participate in that.
They sure can.
That's cool.
They sure can.
How was your event in New York? Tell us about that. That looked pretty exciting. You did a big event in New York at Bryant Park, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, Yep. Your Broadway in Bryant Park. It was so fun to watch The Outsiders and so many other Broadway shows perform in their street clothes without sets and just having so much fun. Walking out on that stage was so cool. You know, if you haven't been to Bryant Park, the New York Central Library is right in the background, and there's a big green space, and thousands of people are sitting out there sweating. I was sweating. It was 100 million degrees outside. But New Yorkers are tough. You know, they don't care. They're up for a good Broadway show, especially a free one. But it was incredible. We had so many people come to visit us at our activation, and putting the wristband on thousands of New Yorkers was pretty great. We're going to be in New York in just a couple of weeks. We've put together a Ride for Resilience. We're taking 200 first responders on bikes and non-first responders on bikes from Boston to the 9/11 Memorial in honor of the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and to raise money to help first responders who have a 14% higher rate of cancer than the rest of us do. They need our support more than most know. And so the proceeds from that will go to build support systems for first responders all across the country, and then also help with their mental health as well.
Sounds like a cool event.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're if you happen to be in Manhattan on 9/10, that's when we will roll in. It is going to be quite the show. We will have the FDNY, the NYPD. We have
Gosh, I can't imagine the planning for this.
Retired firefighters on motorcycle. We have 2 motorcycle groups coming in with us, and we'll be rolling into Manhattan, very much a parade style, to the 9/11 Memorial, where we'll take a moment to pause, and then we'll head to Battery Park, where we will finish on 9/10, because all of those first responders will be at their house on 9/11, the morning of 9/11.
Right. It's hard to believe it's been 25 years, or about to be 25 years.
It really ages us, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to where we're going to be involved October 18th, right here in Austin.
Yeah.
And you can join one of our teams. I'm the Bat Pack. I thought that was a pretty clever name.
I like it.
And Sandy Stampede, you can join his team. You can walk with us. You feel free to join and run. It's discounted. The entry is actually discounted if you get on one of our teams. We're going to kind of see who can get more on their team. To be honest,
who's going to win? Which one? Do you have?
He's got more friends than I don't have very many friends.
What happened? Okay, we got to give some love.
Doesn't want friends. No, so we're gonna. Yeah, it's a friendly little competition. We're gonna put together teams. We're gonna get out and support it, and it's. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we're really excited. Like I said, you can't go to Auditorium Shores and have a 5K, 10K very often now.
True.
There's just not a lot of them there, and
so many permits now that Austin had to dial it back. We don't have the infrastructure to handle these.
No.
It used to be no big deal. You could park next to the event and go do a run.
Not now.
Not anymore.
Not now.
And use the code IHEART26 when you register for 20% off.
That's right.
So I don't know how long that lasts, and I don't know when people are going to be listening to this, but today is August the 13th. And so I don't know exactly how long that's. I want to put that little disclaimer in there.
It'll definitely go through the end of August.
Okay,
but if it is past the end of August and you're listening to this, I might be able to. I might know someone. So
go ahead.
As I say, this is fun for us too. This is full circle for us.
Yeah.
Like as we said at the beginning, we were around day one with this, and to watch it grow and to watch this rebirth that under your watch is very, very cool. So congratulations on that. We're here to support.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're a part of the Livestrong family. You always have been, and now we get to be loud about it again together.
I'm just glad it's 5K because last time I signed up for this thing, I rode my bike 100 miles.
Oh, no.
I don't want to do that again.
That was a bad plan.
Almost got in a fist fight.
Did I? Right. Didn't surprise me. Did I? I don't even remember.
This was great. So I should tell this story. So I started cycling in the 90s and became the typical annoying bike addict. And I was way into it and bike racing and all this stuff. And Sandy wanted to do a 100-mile ride at the Livestrong Challenge. And then you may know him through the history with Livestrong, Kevin Livingston, who was a U.S. Postal teammate and still lives here. Great guy. He coached Sandy. And I was like, dude, I'll ride with you. If you do 100 miles, I will ride with you. What I didn't know is we were going to be on the bike 8 hours. I've ridden 100 miles. I would do it every weekend then, but not for 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours or something like that.
It was 7:45, but eight's good enough.
You remember it was a long day on the bike.
And I bet a long next day too. I bet you weren't walking.
I'd say towards the end, probably 80 miles in, there's this nice steep climb.
Yeah.
And we're just talking, Sandy, you were head down. I kept telling you, lift your head up.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was cutting you off.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dude was cutting you off. People were starting to get a little wobbly. Like it was a steep pitch. And you were ready to throw down with the guy.
My feet hurt so bad. My feet had swollen up and were about to burst out of the shoes. And I had 20 miles to go. And I was like, this sucks. Why am I doing this? And then I had to tell your buddy, John Corey, get away from me. You're annoying. He was driving me nuts. He was trying to be supportive. But you know when you're hurting like that, just suffering through it. You know, it's like when you're going to throw up. You don't want anyone talking to you while you throw up, right? Just leave me alone. And let me
you don't need someone to hold your hair. That's nice when you're throwing up.
Oh, right. So all that to say.
But he did the 100. It was miraculous. I mean, the guy's built like a linebacker, not a cyclist.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, congratulations on your 100.
Well, thank you. I did have take great joy in one part of this. Unfortunately, my friend is no longer with us, but his name is Morris Denton. And Morris Denton was a cyclist. He was like JB, man. He was out. He could ride, and he was busting my chops about signing up for the 100-mile. Well, about 35, 40 miles into it, I hear some wailing on the side of the road, just wailing in pain. And I pull up. It's my friend Morris Denton's got cramps so bad he can't stand it.
He's laying on the ground.
He's laying on the field. I just laid it right up until the day before he passed away. I reminded him of that and had some fun with it. Suzanne, great seeing you. Great event. Stay in touch with us. Get out there. Get signed up. Join our teams. Go to 981kvet.com/JB for his team, /Sandy for my team. And we will see you there in mid-October. Thanks.
Great. See you later.